State-of-the-art technology, innovative business strategies, behind the scenes, insights from cutting-edge users around the globe on 21st Century Business.
Welcome to 21st Century Business. I'm Jackie Bales. Lately, we've heard plenty in the news about defective Chinese drywall. That's just one construction issue plaguing the industry that requires investigation and documentation. As a forensic investigator, Spiderman Mulholland of U.S. Building Consultants Incorporated provides a unique service and joins us today to talk about all manner of construction problems. Welcome, Spiderman.
Thank you.
Also with us, Roger Ballantyne, president of Green Strategies Incorporated, our own in-house environmental expert. Welcome, Roger.
Good to see you, Jackie.
First of all, Spiderman, tell us how often there's a need for your type of service.
Well, usually if a building has a problem with water intrusion, toxic mold, or building envelope construction problems, usually they'll call us in.
And Roger, explain why this type of investigation and documentation is really so necessary for homeowners.
Well, a lot of people think about the environment, they think about the outdoors. Well, for many folks and their families, the most important environment to worry about is the environment inside your home. It really is a health issue, and while the vast majority of homes are perfectly safe, as we're talking about today, there are some threats potentially to health in the family, and it's very, very important that people understand what's in their home and what risks it might be posing to them.
Now, we mentioned up top that defective drywall from China is a major challenge right now for the construction business. How is your company approaching this crisis?
Well, in the first 2 months of the Chinese drywall crisis, we probably spent, me personally, I probably spent about 600 hours in 2 months trying to get a handle on the different complexities with this. We're linked up with the University of Florida and some other national consultants trying to look at this, but there's a lot of problems. Our company has looked at stabilization, trying to give some people some temporary relief to the outgassing, and we're trying to analyze the exact nature of this problem, and it's pretty big.
Spiderman, tell me, can you quantify how big a problem we're talking about with this defective Chinese drywall?
Well, the news is saying one thing. What we're finding the field is, and based on some of the information we've gotten from the other consultants, is in the field, if there was 550 million pounds of Chinese drywall shipped in the United States from 2006 through 2007, it's enough for about 36,000 homes. The problem with that equation is we don't have Chinese drywall 100% in these homes. Some of it may only be 20%, 50%. So when we looked at the national average and then we looked at the statewide, just in the state of Florida, we probably have well over 100,000 homes and probably as much as 500,000 people that have been affected. And this has now went to approximately 34 other states at this time. So it's, in our opinion, it's probably the biggest environmental disaster in U.S. housing history.
Spiderman, you're a forensic investigator. In fact, you've referred to your business as sort of the CSI of the construction industry. When you go into these homes, where you find defective Chinese drywall, tell us a little more about what exactly you're finding.
Well, when we first went in these homes, the Kindler home in South Florida is one case that we've published now as a case history in Brian Eisenberg. When we started going in these homes, we weren't sure what we were going to find. We heard that there was some health problems. I talked to some of the top toxicologists, Patricia Williams out of Louisiana, Dr. Cross, Mrs. Sabo, Dr. Sabo at the University of Florida, trying to get information of some of the human health effects to look for. As we began to go in these homes, what we found was people throwing up blood, chronic fatigue, children on nebulizers, breathing problems, to relative people that were in perfect health before moving into the homes. And our own inspectors, when we went into these homes, physically got sick. In fact, we had 7 inspectors go into the Kindler residence. 5 came out sick, and one of them could not even work the next morning. So now we have to wear respirators so we're not chemically sensitized for the inspections. And we'll actually smell the homes, put back on, then do the inspections. But we have found there is the physical evidence in the field that we're finding is overwhelming. Now, the toxicologists are going to debate this for years on what the human health effects and long-term effects are. But our concern is the physical evidence that we're finding in the field is overwhelming.
Sure.
And how widespread do you believe this is?
I would say probably 80 or 90% of the homes that we've went into right now, there is health effects, both in the pets, the animals, and especially little children that, and understand this hydrogen sulfide is a very heavy gas, heavier than air, so it tends to go down around where the pets and the children are. So that's where we're finding a lot of these health effects, plus they're more sensitive. But I think most of the homes, I mean, my personal opinion, we have over 100,000 homes and buildings in the state of Florida that's probably affecting well over 500,000 people.
Well, let me ask you then a question that follows from that. If I'm a realtor and I'm looking at this drywall crisis, I assume I'm quite worried about it. So when it comes to selling or reselling a home, is there a way to warranty that home in the face of these risks?
And that's a good question, because right now this could have never happened at a worse time for us. I mean, this is a bad time for this crisis with the economy and people, you know, struggling financially, and here they have a house and they want to sell it. If you have Chinese drywall in the state of Florida right now, I mean, you really can't sell your house. We've networked with an international company to provide a warranty that if they can get a proper certified inspection, we can now warranty that house for resale and up to $250,000 in damage, so they can actually sell the house. If they have Chinese drywall and it's been properly remediated and certified, then we can put a 10-year warranty so they can sell the house and actually remove the stigma.
These defects and presence of mold and things like that are obviously bad news to the building owner and the homeowner. But you've had some successes here, as you identified. Can you give us an example of a real good success story?
Well, we've had a lot of success stories. We did a big Disney World project where we had, like, the contractor was being sued by Disney World. It's just a case that comes to mind because it was a very high-profile case, Disney World. Sure. And they couldn't properly diagnose the problem. We networked with Dr. McTiger, some other scientists, brought in a team, and I led the team to go in there and find out, and it was a toxic mold claim. And when we found out what the problem was, we were able to properly identify it. Once we diagnosed the problem, we designed a solution, shut down the lawsuit, and it was a win-win for both Disney World and the contractor. And the repair, actually, instead of being a multi-million-dollar dilemma, ended up being just couple $100,000. And we deal a lot in developing solutions, finding the right fix for the contractor, and really we've probably shut down, in 200 cases we've probably shut down 150 lawsuits.
Wow. Now, obviously, you have a huge background in the construction industry to be able to do this at all.
I've been doing this, well, I started jumping off of buildings 31 years ago, and I've been scaling buildings and fixing problems and tracking water intrusion and building assemblies for, as a business owner, about 25, 26 years.
Huh. Now, you kind of alluded to it there. How did you get the name Spider-Man? You talked about jumping off buildings. Was that it?
I was
joking.
In '79, I became a Marine Corps Scout Sniper instructor through the United States Marine Corps, and they basically took the fear away of flying me out of helicopters. Korea Mountain Warfare School. I became a certified law enforcement officer, and so when I got out of the military, all this skill and stuff, I started looking at these suicidal buildings, and the news media picked up on me, and I would design systems, walking on walls and doing forensic work and caulking and window cleaning. So nobody ever called me by my real name, so I actually bought the name, and I actually own the name Spider-Man.
Very funny. Thank you, Spider-Man. Thanks for letting us know really what to watch out for in the construction world. We appreciate it.
Yes.
And Roger, thank you also for your input.
Thanks, Jack.
And thank you for watching. For 21st Century Business, I'm Jackie Bales.